everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on the Movies, the only review channel that reviews movies in terms of food. So today we're talking about episodes 5 and 6 from last Sunday's airing of season 2 of The Alienist. This Sunday will be its final airing of The Alienist. It will be episodes 7 and 8. And that'll be it for the season. I don't know if there's more planned or what, but this is what we have now. So episodes 5 and 6 are called, first episode 5 is Belly of the Beast, and episode 6 is Memento Mori. Now, just a warning for Belly of the Beast, there's a couple of sex-type scenes in this episode, and I just wanted to warn people if this kind of thing bothers them.
Like
now,
you?
I'm sure a lot of people have already seen it, and so they know. But anybody who hasn't, just wanted to let you know. However, what made me uncomfortable about the episode was not the sex scenes. It was Libby's scenes with the baby, knowing she was poisoning it with her breast milk. I thought that was awful, and it was hard for me to even watch, even though it's all fake. And like I said, I have read the book, and the book's very simple. And this season, it's full of all kinds of subplots intermixed with the main one that was in the book. So, because it's TV and they want to attract lots of viewers. So, the other subplots are Sarah and John, Dr. Kreitzler, and one of his patients, Dr. Marco, the police chief, and the New York City cops, and William Randolph Hearst, who like to play games with the paper and with other people's lives, and William Randolph Hearst and V, his quote, goddaughter.
Now, let's rank these subplots.
Let's not.
I think that the only good one out of all those subplots is the one with the alienist and the boy. And I think all the other ones pale in comparison.
Yeah, probably right. Well, the Sarah and the John, I guess that's for people who like romance or whatever.
Like the typical.
They might like
typical show. Typical show romance where it's like, oh, the guy wants to be with the girl, but she's with someone else.
Or vice versa.
And they want to be together, but stuff is going to keep getting in the way. And will they get together by season 17? I don't know. And then once they get together, it'll be like, oh, now they're boring and nobody likes them and F them. Like, all the times, like in The Office, when that prick Jim and the bitch Pam get together, and, they just completely spiral out of control. And then, like, in Psych, when Sean and Juliet get together, you have that stupid storyline where she discovers that he's not a psychic, and it's like, you always lie, And so I'm kind of glad that they're not going to get together, probably, from what it seems like.
Who knows?
Yeah, because if they do, it's going to be...
Okay, well, as far as the sex scenes, like I said, I think the thing is about them, they didn't seem gratuitous as much as maybe in other movies and shows we've seen. It was more of a way to explain something about their relationships. For instance, it was just rumored that Gugu and Libby were together. And apparently it's a lot more than that. He's drinking poisoned milk from her breast.
What's his name, Safi?
Gugu. Gugu. The other one I'm not gonna talk about because I don't want to give anything away.
Gugu Gaga?
While Marco giggles. But apparently Gugu is madly in love with this maniac. He's included supporting her kidnapping babies and killing them, and he even swore to her, which I'm not sure if it was at the end of this episode or in the next, but he swore to her he would kill for her because she's upset that, well, spoiler alert, the baby was saved, but there's so much involved before the baby gets saved. It's worth it to watch. It was interesting. So I gave the episode a B plus, just because I don't know, the sex scenes are weird, but it's still I felt as they
They're
had
weird.
more, they had more of a purpose.
They're weird.
Well, the second one especially.
Okay.
The first one was they even called him doing that a goo
Oh.
drinking milk from his girlfriend's breast. They called it some kind of psychological name. I didn't write it down. I could look it up. I don't want to, but apparently there's a name for it. So, but anyway, I gave it a B plus, and that's the end of that. Go ahead, Marco. What do you want to say about episode 5? What did you think about the episode?
Oh, God, Sophie. So disappointing. I give this episode a B minus, which is what I give episode 6 as well. Because I feel like they're nowhere near as... I'm really just rating them based on comparison.
To the other episodes. Right? Right.
Okay. Not episode 1, because episode 1 was
awful. Oh, yeah, that one was the worst of all.
Yeah, you rated an A, Sophie. No. No.
No, I didn't.
You gave it an A.
Okay, Marco, keep going.
I'm comparing this to episodes 2, 3, and 4. And these episodes are both nowhere near as good as those episodes. I'm sorry, but those episodes were really, really, really good, and these episodes are not. They're okay, though. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with them. It's just, it's kind of like the show is spinning its wheels in certain ways. The first episode is better than the second because you have something that happens at the end, which was really cool, and it was like a Silence of the Lambs type of sequence. Basically, if you've seen Silence of the Lambs, it's what happens at near the end of that movie, but done on the show, which was kind of funny, and not exactly though, but it reminded me a lot of that. What else is there to talk about? Wooden Woman. Well, the sex scene with Wooden Girl Pinocchio Woman was very weird. It was very embarrassing. I mean, this is one of my biggest pet peeves. Is that if you're gonna have a sex scene on a show or a movie, don't do it like you did it with this scene that they did, because it's just pitiful. I mean, it's just bottom of the barrel. I mean, the way that it's shot, I mean, like these weird angles and slow motion or something, and all this light and trickery so that you can't see certain things, and it's weird. It's so weird. It's like a scene that was shot so that this show could be a PG show. I mean, I don't understand it. They have all this blood and violence, and then this scene is like it's weird. and then the way that they acted in the scene, they're like like really weird, bizarre acting choices from these two actors. And then you have Luke Evans. He's so boring this season. I just wish his character would jump off a cliff already, trying to save someone or something heroic. And then it's like, oh no, he's gone. Oh yeah, that means I don't have to fall asleep while I watch more of him. I want to watch The Alienist. That's why I watch the show that's called The Alienist. I want to see the alienist being the alienist. The show is called The Alienist, and it's just like with Better Call Saul. In Better Call Saul, they're making it all about Kim now. And I'm sorry, but I don't give a flying F about Kim. I care about Saul. Because that's what the show is supposed to be about. That's what seasons 1, 2, and 3 were about. And in this show, it's been a consistent problem ever since episode 1 that the show is not about the alienist. It is about wooden woman and newspaper boring guy, number 1. And I don't care. And especially like after the thing that happens with her office, when we get into spoilers. Well, I guess spoiler alert, because people have already seen it. I mean, it's Thursday. The day we're recording it, that is probably uploaded tomorrow. But spoiler alert, the killer goes to her office, the wooden woman's office, the detective office, and she steals the gun in her office. And it's funny because I didn't really make a comment about it, but I thought personally, that's really queer and stupid. Why do you have all these stupid guns on display in this detective agency? Like you're like, I don't know, like some sort of a NRA enthusiast or something. Very strange. Or like she's trying to intimidate people or make people think that she's more manly than them because she has guns. And so the killer steals the gun. And I thought that's a great payback for that stupid decision she made to have the guns on display instead of locking them up so that they wouldn't be taken. Safi, do you have anything to add to this review?
Yeah, I'm going to do episode 6. Just waiting for my turn.
Okay.
I've already said
go ahead
everything.
and talk. Okay, go ahead and talk about episode 6.
Okay, well, episode 6 is called Memento Mori. And the title refers to, I believe, the ink painting of eyes on the eyelids of the dead children. However, in centuries of history, there's a lot more to Memento Mori than what's in the show, but there's no way I could ever get into all that. I mean, you're talking about practices and beliefs and layers of beliefs that go back for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. So it's not, you don't feel that way when you hear them talk about Memento Mori. And I don't know if that's also some kind of psychological term too. I have no idea, but they treat it like it's one thing and that's this thing, but it's not. There's a lot more to it. So, but I would like to point out this Memento Mori is, though, like a killer's signature, like Libby's signature on all her dead victims. And they find a secret room, spoiler alert, because they feel like where they found her, it was not the place where she's been keeping the babies. The babies they know about, the baby that they know about was kidnapped. They feel like that was a temporary place, so they find it by their detective work, and there's all kinds of pictures on the wall, all framed, and they all have that Memento Mori on their eyes. So it's like anything, like if you watched Home Alone, remember when they left the water on? That was like their signature. So doing this Memento Mori on the baby's eyes, the one they found in the department store, that was like her signature. So if they found another baby with that, they would know that Libby had probably been the one to kill him. Also, I wanted to add one more thing, and it was brought out in this episode, but it really was not clear to me. I did not understand it at all. They keep talking about William Randolph Hearst and V's relationship to him, and it's weird. It says, or they say, somebody says it, that she's his godchild. Well, apparently that's a lie. because in real life he had a mistress. But what was it that they called her? In the Google, he had a wife and he had a quote domestic partner. And when they listed the kids, they have a woman's name, and in quotes it says alleged daughter, which is weird because he died a long time ago. And by this time, it seems like why why can't they prove now to this day through DNA or whatever that that's his real daughter? Why even today they put alleged? So V in the show talks to John, says, I don't belong anywhere. And so when you decided you wanted to marry me, and it was a really good thing because now I have somebody I can be with who cares about me and knows who I am. And you're like, what is she talking about? She doesn't belong anywhere? What does that even mean? And it's because she is probably, instead of being the goddaughter, she's the real daughter. But nobody can say it or repeat it because it's back then it was a bad thing. She's born out of wedlock. She's a mistress's daughter. So that's just not something you can talk about. And then they're so weird about their societal mores where they can't say or do anything. So that's what that's about.
Thank you for explaining that, Sophie. No one would have known that.
Well, I just think it was curious. Why does he care about doing all this stuff for his goddaughter in the paper? And also the other thing that William Randolph Hearst is known for, which they talk about over and over and over again, is his playing with facts and publishing. Well, he is the master, and I think the first one, because he has so much power, he owns so many magazines and newspapers, of yellow journalism, and that is stretching the truth and sensationalizing it.
That's racist.
So as to sell more papers or more magazines. So he's like the proponent, the master proponent of that. So that was a true thing that he did. And I was kind of surprised because I didn't even know who he was until that I don't know what she was to his granddaughter, Patty Hearst, a million years ago was kidnapped. And that's when I first heard the Hearst name. I never even heard of him. So anyway. So basically this whole episode is devoted to she's lost the Spanish baby. And she kidnaps another one. And she hides with Gugu, with the baby. And that's basically what it's about. And so and because their client, which I won't say who it is so famous and wealthy that he wants everything at his disposal to get the baby back. So he hires them. He hires Sarah, and he's agreed to help Dr. Kreitzler, who's in trouble for something that happens to his patient that he's been who we have seen him working with. And one more thing, and that is when she hides with the baby and with Gugu, she actually hit him in the face and said, "Have some respect." And as far as I know, they didn't show anything. He put up with it. So to me, that just affirms that Gugu is gaga over Libby, which is weird because he's a killer. He's a bad guy, but he would do anything for her. That's probably going to be his downfall. So I gave the episode an A. I thought it was a lot better than the other one, even though Marco might disagree. And one more thing, I'm sorry. Dr. Kreitzler has gotten this new colleague, and he met her at that party we talked about where they dipped their hands in the cake, and these girls dipped their hand in the cake. And her name's Dr. Stratton. She's a college professor, and he wanted her to kind of help him with the case in terms of talking it over. And I will have to include one quote, and that is, he says, he brought her in because he says, I'm puzzled to no end by the actions of this woman. He's talking about Libby. So that was it. So go ahead, Marco.
Oh, 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 okay. Now that you're
What
done
did you said you
whatever
gave
that
the
was.
episode a B minus,
Yeah.
and why was that?
Oh. I give both episodes a B minus, but
Right.
this one is not as good, and it's all because of the what's that woman's name? What's the evil woman's name?
Libby?
Uh, I would call her a different name, but that's beside the point. Libby. It's all because of her performance. She gives a very goofy performance. In episodes 3 and 4, she did a great job at having like a subtle performance and a very smart and quiet performance. And then all of a sudden in this episode, it's like she's just all over the place. And so, but unfortunately, like the majority of the episode is her. And sorry for that. That's my displeasure of this performance. Uh, Most of the episode is just seeing her go around doing blah blah blah. Spoiler alert. And the problem is that she just acts crazy all the time. I mean, I'm sorry, but if someone, I mean, people got put into asylums for bullshit reasons back in that time. Mm-hmm. And to me, if anybody saw the way that she was acting in public, she would have gotten put away in an asylum.
Yeah, but she wasn't in public.
She was in public all the time.
Not acting like a weirdo.
Park. She was at that park sitting there on the bench looking like that's what she looked like. She looked like she was possessed from The Exorcist.
That was the only time, I think.
No, there was another time where she went into public to do another thing.
I'm talking about drinking from the washing from the horse's trough.
Oh wait, that's another. Oh wait, there's 3 times that she was in public. And nobody even cared. Nobody even told the police. And that day she would have gotten thrown in an asylum. Because people did weird things back then in terms of asylums and who gets put in them, blah, blah, blah. She would have gotten put away in 2 seconds. But other than that, there really isn't much to say. I mean, it was fine. There was one scene where he's talking to the female alienist, and he's talking to her about something, and I thought that's a little queer. It sort of seemed like an agenda a little bit, but it had relevance to the case. But at the same time, I don't know. I didn't like the dialogue the way that it was. I don't know. It was just kind of weird, awkward, bad dialogue, and there's the thing with him and the kid. I just wish the show would focus on him, the alienist. You know, I don't care about anybody else, really. I mean, I just want to see him dealing with what he has to deal with. I don't care about any of these other people, and so that's what I have to say.
Okay. Well,
and that's it.
All right. Well, all I can say is I think we should sign off now, and I want you to, if you can, please like and subscribe, and if you have any comments, we would love to hear them. And if anybody knows the name of the drink that they had, Marco says it's tea. I don't think so. I thought it was an alcoholic drink where they poured the whatever it was, the liquid over a sugar cube. I just thought that was weird, and I didn't hear anybody say what that was, and I didn't think it was tea. So I don't know. And be sure to watch the last 2 episodes this Sunday on TBS at 9 o'clock Eastern Time and 10 o'clock Eastern Time. So, bye
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.